Hello everyone, and welcome to Plus Side, where we break down each month's free games for PlayStation Plus members and help you decide if you want to play it. I'm Sam.
And I am Mason.
Today we're breaking down the games for February 2024.
I see you typing into
PlayStation
the
Plus members.
script as we talk.
I don't know why I changed it as we talk, because honestly it doesn't matter because I've already said it. Before we do get into talking about the games, please make sure you subscribe and like this video and hit that notification bell so you guys know when new videos are coming out. We'll have one a month coming out, so stay tuned for more. But let's get into February.
Oh, let's get into it, man.
The games for February were Rollerdrome, Steelrising, and Foamstars.
Starting off very strong with Rollerdrome. Rollerdrome is this high-octane, stop-moving-and-you-die gladiatorial blood sport where you ride around Tony Hawk style on your little roller skates, doming baddies as you go. You take on the role of Kara Hassan. She's a rookie to the game, but you will rise through the ranks, going from arena to arena, competing for the high score, getting the most challenges, and landing the sickest tricks. It was released in 2022 by Roll7. These guys are the makers of Ali Ali games, and it follows the same style of like extreme sports meets arcade satisfaction. I love this game.
Yeah, you played this already, right? You played this before?
A lot of people really loved it. It was a critical darling. Like, there are video essays made about how good this game is, and I couldn't help myself, so I picked it up, and I was not disappointed. This game is a blast and a half.
I am curious, Mason, when you first downloaded it, what was were you like right from the jump you were into it? Like first impressions were really strong?
Well, I had watched some videos and I kind of knew that this is the kind of game where the satisfaction and the progression comes from your gradual increase in skill, right? There are no upgrade trees, there are no like special perks to unlock. There's barely a story, but the narrative that is there, I think, is pretty captivating and interesting. But the main progression of the game comes from you getting better at lining up your shots, about stringing together moves, and about killing baddies. The skill ceiling in this game is really, really high, and the opportunity for you to express that skill is really, really high. I'm not wonderful at the game, but I still had a great time, and I made it pretty fun.
Yeah, I definitely see that, because my first impression wasn't very strong. I started it, I went, this is like way too much for me. There's like, because you have access to all the different moves right away. It's very like Skater Pro, like where you're like, oh, let me figure out these combos that do different moves and different skills. Plus now you're shooting people, but in a game type format. But I was kind of overwhelmed by all these options, especially with the quests. You're given like a series of quests that you could complete per map. You don't have to, but I was thinking that I'm like, okay, so I have to do all this stuff, and I'm like, I keep pausing. I'm like, okay, I have to do this type of trick near this token. I have to kill this person this certain way, and I'm like trying to like handle all these different controls, and I got really overwhelmed. But I will say, once I started to get good at the game, it really grows on you, and when you do really well and complete a map with a high score, you feel like a badass because you're doing all these cool tricks, you're not getting hit, you're dodging at the perfect time, and you're really you feel like really cool when you do it right.
Yeah, it really makes you feel like it's a dystopian blood sport. No, but it's so cool, like lining up the perfect shot. I remember, just like you launch into the arena, okay? You jump in the air, you see around you, there's like a sniper in the tower off into the distance, there's a grunt up front, and there's a big brute in the middle with a chain gun. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna go up the half pipe. I'm gonna do a trick to reload my ammo, because in this game, to reload your ammo, you gotta land tricks.
Which is awesome. It's a great aspect.
Much fun. You go back down the half pipe, you go up the on-ramp, you jump, backflip over the grunt, whip out your grenade launcher, shoot him in the head, point to the other guy, shoot him a couple times. The sniper is trained on you, and just before he fires, you dodge roll in mid-air, landing a trick, moving seamlessly right into the next series of carnage and mayhem that you're going to cause. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and with the art style of it, scenes like that feel almost like an animated show. You feel like you're watching an action show, which is really fun. It's really good.
It's got this absolutely gorgeous, like, cel shaded really lean, cartoony style. Like,
Because I remember when I first went into the first cutscene, I was like, oh, this is what this game is? I was so taken back. I went, oh, this is the art style? I did not know what to expect. But it really did impress me. And you were talking about how, like, there isn't a backstory, but then there is some little level of lore going on. I found that really interesting, that you could, like, go up to random, like, sticky notes and read something and make a small decision, like crumple this up and throw it away and cause chaos. But that whole, like, undertone of the politics of this, like, you know, gladiator style game is really interesting. And they're talking about the life insurance of the people the house players. It's very, very interesting how they get into that, but you don't have to get into that. It's only a small part of it that it rewards the curious gamers.
And I think what is there is actually really intelligently lean and smartly told. It's not an unsubtle critique, I think, of like American football and the NFL's utter disregard for the safety of its players. More than that, it's like also a bit of a commentary on corporations' willingness to exploit talent for the sake of profit and engagement from an audience that is more than willing to watch, you know, people suffer for money. No, I really, really can't recommend this game enough.
So Mason, I guess the question for this game is, how much is this game worth in your time?
Yeah, that's the kind of the question, right? Because PS Plus, you have it already. How much of your time is this game worth? And I would say, listen, this game is amazing, and I'll gush about it. But it's also, as we discussed, a pretty lean game. There's not, like, there's plenty of room for mastery, and you can spend a ton of time here if you want to. But I would say it's going to be, like, 10 hours. But it's a great 10 hours. 20 to 25 if you really want to, like, become pro level. But it's going to be a wonderful, well-spent 10 hours, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'd probably say I would play this game kind of like a FIFA or a Madden game, where it's, I'll play this like an hour a week, just when I'm like just kind of feeling like it. It's almost like replacing a phone app for me, where I get to sit down and just I want to feel like I'm getting good at something. I might play this game for like an hour a week for however long I feel interested in it. So I'll give it 6 hours. I'd give this game.
Okay, you know what? That's totally.
I
think that's fair. But like once again, it's worth those hours. You will not be groaning. Sure. You will want more.
And does this game receive your plus of approval?
Abso-freaking-lutely. It receives my plus of approval. Go play it and have a great time and feel like a badass.
I would say I agree. I give this one a plus of approval. It's worth a play, at least to try it. Yeah.
Cool.
Game 2, Steelrising.
Oh, let's get into
Steelrising, it's a Souls-style action RPG. It imagines a dystopian French Revolution-era France, where King Louis has built an army of mechanical automatons that have overrun the country. Players play as Aegis, Marie Antoinette's personal automaton bodyguard, who is tasked to venture out into Paris to discover what is going on with the king and to find Marie's surviving children. Beating other real-life historical revolutionaries, such as the likes of Lafayette and Maximilien Robespierre. How do you say his name, actually?
Robespierre. I just watched Napoleon, starring Joaquin Phoenix, so I'm an expert.
These real-life people are in it. Aegis gets involved in the complex politics of a further complicated French Revolution while taking down countless robotic enemies like it's clockwork.
Okay. You always throw in these lovely puns, Sam.
You gotta end it with a pun.
You got it.
I mean, the enemies are like, I feel like, because they don't go, it's French Revolution era, but they didn't like over futurize it. These are like automatons built with like gears and like, I guess I don't really understand the physics behind what world we're in. It's actually honestly a little bit of a confusing environment and world to be in.
It totally does require that like suspension of disbelief like you're talking about. When I played it, the word that came to my mind was porcelain punk. I don't know. That kind of felt right.
Yeah, especially Aegis. She's very porcelain looking.
Yeah. But
she's a beast. She doesn't break, so.
Sam, how did you feel about engaging with this combat system?
The combat is, I mean, for lack of a better word, it's clunky. I don't know if it's, like, I like that.
Look
at the way she runs around. Yeah, she literally is running around and she makes that sound and it runs clunky. I don't know if it's on it like could be intentional. It can't be though, right? Like for them to make the game feel clunky like it's a machine running on cogs. I don't know if they meant to do that, but maybe it's an art style. It's hard to play when the combat is very limited. It's you have like 3 different options to hit something with. You can lock on to the enemy with right stick, but that element is very poorly managed.
Oh, I know.
Like I'm trying to fight the first boss. In general, the bosses actually end up being very easy, but this first boss, when you're given like no tools or anything, you're just like, here, fight this big thing that can kill you in 2 shots, and you have 2 things to heal yourself with. That's it. I'm trying to lock onto him, and I turn my camera even a little bit, or I try to rotate a little bit, and it locks onto some other thing that's not even in the battle with me. There's something over hidden in the bushes that it locks onto. Like, I'm not fighting that right now. Don't make me look at that. It was so hard to manage everything. The camera like cuts through things, and I don't know. It really lacked in that aspect for me.
Yeah, I found the controls and the camera, like you were talking about, to be like sluggish, to be clunky. It just doesn't feel right. And I gotta make this point. But when you make a Souls-like, when you as a developer go down that path, you invite comparison to some of the greatest video games ever made. I love Elden Ring. I freaking adore that game, and I beat it. And I'm not afraid of, difficult games. But this game just doesn't live up to that standard. In this game, I didn't feel like I ever had a good handle on Aegis.
She'll swing at anything that isn't the robotic enemies. You're swinging above the dogs. You're swinging next to this weird scorpion. Which, to be fair, the enemies are cool. Like, they have some really unique type of enemies. I like the thing with the big lance. Like, he's got swinging around these things on chains. There's cool enemies, but I want to be able to hit them the first time when I want to. I think you're absolutely right. It's so hard to do a game in this genre without being compared to others. I think it fails in most aspects. Other than it's a really unique narrative. This whole, they took this really out of the box idea and ran with it, and I appreciate that they stuck to that. They failed though to create something that compared to these games in any other way.
Yeah. This game to me is like dictionary definition of mid. This game does not fly over the radar. It does not fly under the radar. It flies straight through, and air traffic control could not even be bothered to put down their coffee. Like, whatever, moving on.
And if you're going to be a mid game that then frustrates me in other aspects, like don't make the enemies respawn on death. I don't want to have to walk back through and fight every single automaton on my way back to the boss that I can't beat. That was frustrating. You've got long extra paths that you can go down that aren't very rewarding. You go down, and then I talked to like a farmer lady behind a door, and she's like, can I have some water? You click yes, and she gives you 5 stun grenades or something. Why did I walk all the way down this path for that? Like, give me feedback. Give me something that isn't frustrating me.
I don't actually mind some of that stuff, like going and finding secrets and enemies respawning. That happens all throughout Souls games.
I guess it's not really a genre for me, but
but like, this game kind of doesn't innovate any of its gameplay. Here's someone else's homework, and it's Dark Souls. Like, if you really like Souls-likes and you're itching for something, and you've already played Lies of P and every other Souls-like or Souls game out there, then there is something here for you. Like, there is an in-depth gear system and a stat tree and different moves and a huge variety of enemies and a narrative and an interesting world to explore. Like, all of that is there, but for me, it just didn't captivate me enough to keep pushing past its more frustrating combat sequences.
How much is this game worth to you, Mason?
I was about to ask you the same thing, Sam.
Well, I'll answer then first, because you thought it first. I just spoke. I would say this game to me is worth about 1 hour of assist mode fully on, So there's a mode that you can change it instead of like having different difficulties. There's something called assist mode where you can change it to you take less damage or your stamina responds faster. You can just like adjust those settings that way. I turned it all full on so I could try to get further into the game for footage. And the game was so fun. I was just like running through, just like nobody could. Literally, no damage could be done to me. I was getting punched and nothing was happening, and because I just wanted to see what else I could get to real quick. And I would say do that for about an hour, and then play the game for an hour on hard difficulty, so that you can get past all the bullshit at the beginning.
Past all the carefully crafted, loved by the developers, years of their life.
I know. So you can get past the slow start and get right into a more immersive world. Maybe get to some more of the backstory first, and then play it for another hour. So I would say 2 hours total, half of it being under assist mode.
Wow.
Mason?
I would say give it 6.
I'm so harsh.
Well, I feel bad because I immediately gave Rollerdrome like a relatively low hours score, but only because that's such a lean game. Like this is the kind of game you would play for 30 to 50 hours. Like it is a game. But
this game, yeah, I would. But I also would. If you were asking me to download it or not, I would just say no.
But I would play it for 6. See if it tickles your fancy. It didn't tickle ours.
So Mason, did it get your plus of approval?
No.
And it does not get mine. It fell short, but you know, I didn't not enjoy my time for some of it. Foamstars, Game 3. Foamstars is a very distant cousin to Splatoon in the foam-based PvP family. In the city of Bath Vegas, players... Oh, God.
I know, right? Okay, yeah.
All right, get through it, Sam. Players take on the role of one of the Foamstars, a group of unique individuals who share a goal of taking down the Bubble Beasties, which are, as far as I could gather, sentient bubbles that are looking to destroy the city by attacking its power plants. God, I mean, we watched one of them blow up, and it's like, this is brutal. You can also just skip all that and just participate in the game's 4v4 foam shooter versus mode with a few different game modes in this category. Players must strategically use their foamy weapons to capture a rubber ducky payload, cover as much of the floor in foam as you can, take out the whole other team, or take out the one enemy the game has decided is worth anything. But no killing. Square Enix wants to be very clear that you are only to chill your enemies and not kill. Mason,
don't kill, Sam. Don't kill. No, this is a nice game for good boys and girls who eat all of their broccoli and finish their homework.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about this.
Yeah, go ahead. Share your thoughts, Mason.
Foamstars is loud, obnoxious, overly self-insistent, poorly designed, annoying ass Splatoon ripoff.
So, well, I actually never played Splatoon, but so essentially you have a choice between 8 characters. They each have their own unique foam weapon that can shoot these foam. I can't even. It doesn't make any sense. And you're in these like 4v4 battles where you're trying to douse your enemies in foam. You also can cover the floor, which slows them down in this foam, and they end up in like this foam bubble, and then you surf into them and destroy them. Essentially what you're trying to do is you play for a while until there's a certain amount of eliminations, and then one player is assigned to be the all-star of that team, and then all you have to do is chill that player. I don't even want... Can I not say chill? Am I allowed to?
No, you're not allowed to say killed.
Okay.
You're not...
So
the
you have to chill
K-word,
that.
Sam.
Once you chill the all-star, then you've won as a team. Every time I played it, everyone is so bad at the game that I was the all-star of my team, and we lost every time still because I didn't know what I was doing. There is a like kind of a steep learning curve for the versus mode. It is kind of easy and straightforward. There aren't a lot of like abilities or anything, but it's like skill-wise, it's like a kind of tough. Like there was some, people apparently play this a lot, and there was some strategy that the other teams had that I had no idea what to get around, and I was getting chilled left and right.
Sam, I might sound like a total asshole when I say this, but I found this game to be like but easy.
Like the versus
yeah,
mode?
I really...
God, I lost every single time.
You were the Foamstar. You were the all-star every time, and so was I.
I don't know who I was with then, because my team would just get chilled every. I guess maybe I wasn't saving them. I don't know, because you're able to run into your opponents where how you would chill another enemy. If you chill your own person, they get miraculously saved from their bubble they're in.
Yeah, it really is like Splatoon. It's 4v4. You're going up against people. You cover the ground in as much foam as possible, cover your enemies in as much foam as possible, and avoid that same fate for yourself. Splatoon is a groundbreaking third-person shooter. Nintendo really knocked it out of the park, and a lot of people really love Splatoon. And I think it's very accessible to younger audiences because, like, it's just a really fun shooter that has a unique mechanic of spraying the ground, and that makes it so that if you're not as skilled, like if you're a young kid playing Splatoon, you can still contribute to your team's success by just spraying everywhere and having a good time. But the thing that makes Splatoon work is its presentation is crystal clear. And Nintendo is really, really good at making games that are very readable visually. And when I played Foamstars, it was like they were shooting foam directly into my eyeballs the entire game. It was so, like, I'm fighting this obnoxious UI.
Mason, did you look at like the in-game purchases?
I saw in your notes that they were exorbitant.
Like $15 for a skin. Unbelievable. It's more expensive than the game was. I think there's like this one cosmetic pack you can get that's $45. Like, what? How are they? I mean, someone has to be buying it because otherwise they would lower the price. But what are they doing? 45. I don't understand that.
This live service chase of microtransactions has utterly ruined like the multiplayer video game scene in a lot of really disheartening ways. $15 for a skin, that is a macro transaction. That is not a micro transaction.
It's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. I love most games, and a lot of games that are targeted towards younger audiences are brilliant. But this game, when I say it was made for kids, it's derogatory. Like, if I was a kid and I played this game, I'd be insulted.
Yes, because so many things. Did you play story missions, like the solo?
Oh, Sam, missions? You told me to go try a story mission, and I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Wait, Mason, I told you to go do one.
No, you didn't like force me at gunpoint, but you suggested.
No, but I recommended doing it.
You recommended a very specific, cheeky way of doing it, which was.
I really apologize to you for doing that.
Sam, would you like to explain to our viewers the riveting gameplay involved in one of Foamstars' story missions?
This game is made for children. Those story solo missions are too easy for children. I put on my phone. I was looking at my phone for like 5 minutes, and I forgot I had started a story mission. And these bubble beasties were hitting the reactor, and I heard a noise. I was like, I'm playing the game. Destroyed all the ones that were hitting that. I still ended up with like S+ tier. Like, I wasn't paying attention for like 3 minutes, and I still got an S tier. And you just like, you have to wait for the things to get to you so you can just like try to, and the dialogue doesn't happen until you finish like one little wave. And so you're having a conversation with someone over the phone that you say something, you have to wait for the enemies to get there, you kill them, and then the person will respond to you. And then the mission ends after 10 minutes of the brain dead shooting, and then you have to listen to this 5-minute conversation that nobody asked for.
Nobody asked.
It's like they're trying to introduce like lore, I guess, during these solo missions where you're like finding out a little bit more about the characters. And this one guy he works at a pizza place, I guess, on his free time, and I'm sitting there like, I don't care.
Doing a story mission in Foamstars is you are defending a power plant. The Foamstars will come at you in waves that are about 30 seconds apart from each other.
The bubble beasties.
The bubble beasties? Oh, I said the Foamstars. The bubble beasties?
I wish the Foamstars would come. Let me fight let me fight a Foamstar.
That would be cool. But no, Sam, the people you have to fight in this game, or should I say the sheep, are literally just packs of 3 to 5 sheep floating leisurely down this like empty rectangle of a shooting arena until they get to the blue pulsing power plant, at which point they will start to nuzzle it gently and do a minuscule amount of damage.
You'd have to set your controller down for the like I did for the sheep to make it to the power plant.
I actually did do that just to see what would happen. And by the way, if you run into these dangerous threats to human civilization.
Oh yeah, do you take damage? I don't actually never even got to find that out.
You don't take any damage. There is a cutesy little bumping animation and a squeaky noise, and you are knocked back about 3 feet. And that is it.
I did find it frustrating when the penguin bubbles got rid of my foam that I had put down. I was trying to make a tower of foam, and then when the penguin shoots, it makes the foam go away. I was like, I was building that. I was trying to build like a little foam castle.
We have to make our own fun in this game. Oh, Foamstars is all about making sure everybody has a good time. Well, what about me? Who's making sure that I have a good time?
Game made me sad.
This game, Sam, I have a feeling it's going to be in the negatives, but how many hours of your life is Foamstars worth?
Oh, how much is this game worth? I would say download it and then delete it so you can feel the satisfaction of deleting this game. Mason, how much is it worth to you?
Sam, Foamstars has stolen time away from me that I will never get back. It is worth -1 hours, however many hours I spent with it, like 3 or 4.
I hope this is the worst game we ever play for this show.
I know, it's so disappointing.
I can't even imagine something else. IGN gave it like a 6. I was blown away. I don't understand. It gave it the same score that they gave Steelrising. How do you put those two things in the same? I can't even. Okay, obviously this gets my Mason. Does it get your plus of approval?
It gets my is what it gets.
Yeah,
nothing more.
I give my negative disapproval.
Yeah.
So that, friends, is the month of February 2024. Mason, which is our favorite of the month?
I have to think about that a little bit. It's Rollerdrome easily.
Yeah, no comparison. I mean, no contest.
No contest, yeah.
And then my other question for you is it worth it this month? If you were not a PlayStation Plus member, would you say it's worth downloading PlayStation Plus to get these games?
Go just buy Rollerdrome.
Save your money on PlayStation Plus.
Save your money, go buy Rollerdrome. PlayStation Plus is not worth it this month, in my personal opinion.
I would say not worth it this month. Even with just Rollerdrome, it's just like Rollerdrome isn't enough to pull me into saying that it's a yes month for me. But it is what it is. All right, everyone. So that is February 2024. We thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments which of your favorites, and let us know in the comments if you asked, because I don't think anybody did. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitch at CallTimeTV. And stay tuned for more episodes coming out next month. Any predictions? Let us know your predictions for March in the comments. I've just asked for 3 different things in the comments.
You need to do them all. This is your assignment.
Yeah. You need 3 separate comments. All right. We thank you so much. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Peace out.